女の話をしよう。愛を知ったとき、女は魔物に変情する。愛
Not
おしみ
muted,
と憎し
muted,
みは
but
本来
I see what
別
happened.
々のもの。それ
There,
が
I
一つの
shouldn't
も
be
のとし
muted
て語
anymore.
られるとき、これらをつなげる感情が不可欠になる。
Thank you, Seki.
狂気だ。
That does make me nervous
苦
for
しい
the...
ほど愛している。
Oh, I saw
苦しいほ
Discord
ど
was...
憎んでいる。他人への思いがこの
Yeah,
域まで
Discord's
達したとき、怪物は現れる。とかく、一目惚れとは暴力のようなもの。する方は幸福だが、される方には不意打ちだ。
What the hell? 4,000 years ago, human civilization entered its first period of transition. The power of many ancient things waned while some new things sprouted forth. Mysteries faded with the growth of man's wisdom. On this planet, the laws of the universe began to gradually shift to today's laws of physics. As the principles of the land became defined, action on Earth became a hardship for divine beasts and the mythical beasts. The gods who undertook the workings of the atmosphere lost their direction and were returning to pure natural phenomena. This, namely, was the beginning of the age of primates. So I didn't have the mic muted so much as OBS fucked with my settings and set it to the default instead of the mic itself. I don't really know why. The gods left the earth and mankind commanded the land. Countless kings were born and fell to ruin, each time civilization progressed. Simply put, it was the dawn of a new era. Mankind, for the first time, had separated from their gods and began to walk their own path. That's right, mankind who had feared nature, began to act as they willed as humans. And this era was frenzied commencement of such. As king, he created that era. The blood of the gods who held dominion, one to that point, coursed through him. The blood of man who would hold dominion coursed through him. He exhibited both as an entirely different type of living being. He passed judgment after understanding each indiscretion, after considering each perspective, a paragon of neutrality. Initially, he loved the gods more than he did man. Eventually, he despised the gods more than he did man. In the end, he decided to observe all that man had to offer. And by observe, he meant to decide. He decided to ascertain which humans should live based on his sovereign standards. That was his cornerstone. Here's a king who reigned over ancient Uruk. Here's a king who treated no one equally. Here's a king who judged without distinction, whether one obeyed or disobeyed. He rejected equality and mercilessly snatched life after life. All that remained were weeping messes and desolate earth, the desire to stay alive, and nature laid bare. Either made for an ugly, horrifying spectacle. In that instant, a crucible of desires was born on this planet, and there was a king who condoned it. This was the age which birthed those desires which make man human. Since the king who ordered that such a bestial nature be judged of man's desires, since he accepted thievery, this wasteland is the consequence. His garden of desires where he continually laughed hideously, loathed, and passed judgment. Mired in that muck, he lifts the cornerstone, or the corners of his mouth. Ah, this truly is one repulsive future. Was not expecting to immediately be chucked into Gilgamesh backstory there. I awoke from a distant scene, one I never experienced. It's as if I had an old dream. Awake, are we? What's wrong? You look more dismal than usual this morning. We're retreading the labyrinth. Relax. I don't expect anything out of you. Go parade your clumsiness if you like, as you have been. Good old Gilgamesh. Let's start by going to the student council room to figure out what's next. My head still feels fuzzy, though. It said that masters get a glimpse of their contracted servants' past. So does that mean that dream I saw might have been Gilgamesh's past? Bum, 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 bum.
相変わらずの安宿よ。
ございます。今回
Yeah.
こうして起き抜けの顔を見るのもいいものですね。
I'm sure the time's a little bit weirder for some people. It's only half an hour later than I have been doing those, so.
メモリに余裕があればだけど。
良い提案ですね。脳に刺激を取り入れ
Honestly, I only scheduled this late because I had no idea what I was doing today, and this is the earliest I knew I'd be good to go. I didn't need to schedule it this late.
残念ながら騎士の務めに、それに私は最初。
ユリウスはアーミー。
兄さんのカレーはある意味絶品でしたね。確か
私はどっちかっていうと中華だけど。
さすがの小生も。
お、ちょっとは落ち着いたみたい。失礼。ラニエイトですが、
Hi, pup.
入室の許可を。
Let him bite my hand for a little.
どうぞお入りください。皆さん
Anything after dark time is late for you.
ごきげんよう。通常時より同行。この制服ですか？レオ会長、落ち着かないデザインですが、生徒会の一員として仕方が
Yeah, more clothes than you usually wear, Ronnie.
その件。
Ooh.
あ、その時は私にも声をかけてね、ラニ。グッド。素晴らしいプランです、ミストーサパ。
After school execution alliance.
ちょっとストレートすぎるわね。路地裏の匂いがするし。
They're making a back alley reference.
どう？
I fucked that up.
彼女には今日から生徒会メンバー。
ラニエイトです。皆さんが今後は生徒会の会計として力を使います。私が就任、的確で迅速な迷宮探索をモットーに、ヒューマンエラーの多いミス。
どうですか？就任の挨拶からこの厳しさ。
悪かったわね。ここ一番でドジ踏んじゃ。でもラニが会計ってことは食堂案が却下ね。いえ、食堂の設置は行き過ぎにしても迷宮の突破においてかかるダメージの回復は休息による自動復元でも。
魂に勢力が。
Ronnie the Eternal. She's definitely in the next FGO update right alongside Hulk. Yeah.
はい。
Everyone's waiting for that
生存力ですね。
that Ronnie pseudo.
中華。そう。勢力かつ丹田、すなわちクンダリーニ。何かおかしなこと。プラーナは生命活動の根幹であり、チャクラを活性化させることは。
If they're gonna do it, they'll probably do it around when they launch Extra Record.
おかげで私とラニは BB からの支配を邪魔者だったランサーも撃破して、あとはそう思っていたんだ。
桜迷宮は終わってはよ。 BB は新しい手駒である。
その通りです。しかし今はあなたが見た空間は BB。 彼女は私の壁。
むむ、それは妙。お主の後ろが迷宮の出口であったのなら、いかに迷宮が増えようとも6階から表に出られるのでは。
そうではないのです。どれだけ距離を進もうが、そこが迷宮の果てでない限り、外への出口、私たちが外に出るには。
なるほど。虚数空間ではとなると 僕たち BB がアルターエゴやセンチネル
それは残念ながらセンチネルに使えるマスターはだって女王である私が弱体化しはいお約束その察しの良さに免じて今回もそれじゃモニターのせーの BB チャンネルドドドドドドドドドドドドドドドドドドドドドはあ、なんということでしょう。ムーンセルに響き渡るお茶目で運命のドラムロールか報われないはたまたドリルのこんばんは。今夜もあなたをブラックでブラッドなハートフルたたりナイト。本当は司会は私。階段を語らせたらヒロインあなたのホラー。
Here it is, the circuitous and backfiring customary approach. You deal with her, mongrel. So it started, huh? Since I was kind of prepared and expecting it, I'm not that surprised. I wonder if BB shoehorns this plot of hers, and if she ever thinks she has a weakness. Huh? You're spoiling the fun, senpai. Geez, and here I was, pausing my construction to play with you. BB is so sad now. Sniff. She's salivating, not just from her lips, but from her entire body. She's no bull of heaven, perhaps. The snake of heaven? Gilgamesh doesn't need to point it out. BB's fake tears are pretty cheerful. Psych! Whether they're real tears or not, since your silliness cracks me up so much, senpai. I laughed so hard I cried. By the looks of it, you haven't been discouraged enough to stop searching the labyrinth, right? Your persistence is the one thing I'll give you kudos for. However, I'll flick away any stubborn dirt until there's nothing left. If you become too big a pain in my side, I'll abandon you to my alter egos, so please watch yourself, okay? Abandon me to her alter egos. I'm not sure what that means. It feels like it has a different nuance than being defeated or deleted. Oopsies, that was a secret. A maiden secret, SG, you called it. That vile technique. I can't believe you had such an unfair ace at your sleeve. I'm so mad. I'd hoped that you'd be more like a random mob without a single redeeming feature. And what's with talking out the gaps in people's minds? What sort of occultism is that? That's the first spiritual phenomenon that's become a rumor in the Sakura labyrinth. But before we get to that, I have to say that forcibly exposing the girl's secret is the scummiest thing ever. Here's something for Senpai. Like that, take this! I've been assaulted. A present from me to you, a special technique mimicking what Senpai does. Here's the second spiritual phenomenon. Now I'll say this one more time. When Senpai exposes a girl's secret, she's a bad girl. So it won't be a surprise if you get locked up, right? What's there to say? Even if the heavens were to turn a blind eye to a fiend like yourself, I would not. You're almost out. And BB, I didn't notice until now, but you're considerably beautiful, especially your bosom. They're not my type, but somehow still nice. How about it? We can jointly invest in creating a club of bliss, where we revel in people's secrets of grins and drink. How about it? I give you no interest, no collateral, perpetual loans from my stored gold. What? Why would I go so far for you, you ask? You're ever the more sinful for making me say it, woman. BB, you are absolutely not my type, but you may become my queen. BB, you don't want to fuck with Gilgamesh's mind like this. Gilgamesh? Loaning at no interest and with no collateral, aren't you getting swindled big time? What's going on? This needlessly conspicuous breast pedestal appears as a blonde, blue-eyed, petite, and gallant maiden to me. External virus infusion identified, confirmed to be a nerve control agent technique, removing special effects. My improvised Adore BB brainwashing song was cleared away? Ronnie is a real pain, huh? Well, that's okay, the ghost story doesn't end here. Something else is what's promising. There's a super scary monster in the labyrinth. Someone is always watching you from the shadows in fear. And with that, we'll call it a day. But listen, Senpai, you'll be better off not exposing any secrets, you know. Curiosity killed the cat, and the joke will be on you. Dumb girls go straight into the trash. If Senpai ignores her cute Kohai's warning, she may find herself on a one-way trip to hell fast. As usual, I'm only going to read scenes that seem like they'll be heavily altered by either the CCC route or Gilgamesh's presence. So, like, there, Gilgamesh I knew would have a good amount of talking lines. I am rereading this silently, though. Well, not silent. I should be talking a little bit more than I am. But I do want to reread this for the purpose of scripting the video. I've been doing it basically week to week on the second playthrough. So right after I get done with this, I've got a few things I need to do, but amongst them, I'm going to be writing up the script for the Passion Lip week here. It's honestly a bit of a race right now. See what I finish first: Fate's Stay Night script or the CCC script. Because I'm making better progress in Stay Night, but the script isn't started so much as I just have a shit ton of notes to go through. But CCC, the video, I have to wait pretty much at least week to week, if not twice a week, to make any progress on it. Curiosity killed the Don't Tell Seki. I was honestly a little worried about whether or not I'd be able to stream today, because I had a headache through like most of the evening, and it only like went like an hour before stream started. Originally, my plan was to spend like the evening before the stream like reading Nahui McLawn, because I've literally only made it two nodes through Nahui McLawn, or not nodes, but like a section and like it was like a little interlude thing. I barely made any progress in Nahui McLawn Part 2. I feel worse about not getting that much progress, but I know that events are... Ow, stop, no. Sorry. I know events this year are going to be a little bit more sparse. Not as sparse as they were last year, but more sparse, like pretty much one a month until at least the halfway to 3/4 point. Yeah, I'm feeling much better now, Frozen Lion. Yeah, you don't feel hurried due to the spider. Honestly, I'm excited to do that fight. I kind of want to approach it a little differently when I do it on NA than I did with JP. Because JP, for anyone that watched that stream, that was a lot of me using MASH and then using level 1 servants to stall MASH's recharge. I'm thinking I can go a lot faster now. You were on Nahui Part 2 and not barely into Trom. BB, how far that woman get on my nerves to send such a vulgar program? No, what's more incorrigible is how that woman with the aphrodisiac-reeking flesh ruined the image of my ideal woman. Gilgamesh's bad temper isn't half-hearted. The cause must be the second spiritual phenomena BB cast on him. I think he said some outrageous things like, no interest, no collateral, perpetual loans of his wealth, and about making BB his queen? Don't give me that look, mongrel. If you don't wish to feel my wrath, prostrate yourself in the corner or something. See, he did go on to describe his ideal woman, and it just sounded like gender bent, or not even gender, it just sounded like Enkidu. Blonde, blue-eyed. Now I've done it. I didn't expect Gilgamesh to catch me looking at him unimpressed. Well, look, it's just, I was surprised. The truth is, it was a little funny. I felt like seeing a bit more of it, too. Well now, so you enjoy basking in people's blunders. You're quite a warped woman. Surely you must get along with that clerk. However, when the object of concern is me, it changes everything. I don't mind drinking over the joy of mutilating you without killing you and throwing you into a contaminated filth and slowly rot. I was wrong, AUO. I will never look at you unimpressed ever again. You call me the king and apologized, so I could let this one go. Did I hear you pronounce something strangely? I felt something unsettling. I shake my head with all I have. Not at all. I'm sweating unpleasantly. Best not to provoke Gilgamesh right now. I'll do as he said and go make myself small in a corner. This won't appeal to me after all. This isn't the time to sit and quell my ire. It's time to run like lightning. Hakuno, we're going to the labyrinth. I won't be satisfied until I give that woman an odious surprise. If you the time to curl up over there, then quickly conquer a labyrinth or two and tend to my rehabilitation. You're the one who told me to curl up. What a brilliant change of mind. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But if I were to say an objection, ridiculousness is the king's privilege. Obeying such is the duty of many. No. This is what I'm talking about. I can't handle this guy anymore. But regardless of the reason, it's a good thing that Gilgamesh is showing eagerness. I'll thank PB for that in secret. Being defeated once by a similar looking woman. Possibly. Sometimes it's hard to say what servants do and don't actually remember. Go check the... Wait, this isn't the library. This is the third year classroom. I don't need to go into any of the classrooms anymore. Well, except for when I complete a Taiga mission. Taiga! Find the fucking cat keychain. Three things of curry.
そうか。どうせまともに。無論。常にこうさすがは英雄を金メラの財布とは
Even your wallet is golden. I need to spend a lot of money, so I'm just gonna buy this. Like 10 of these for Master MP. Yeah, actually, wait, I should restore. No, I'm gonna hold on to that money a little bit.
と貢献してほしい
Because in theory, I can just buy a shit ton of everything, and then at the very end of the game, or right before I, like right when I need to do it, just immediately dump money into the commissary if needed. What I need to focus on is A, the library, B, constantly using Gilgamesh's skills. Where's Gato? He was here a second ago. Did he go upstairs? I think it's... I need to focus on the library, Gilgamesh's skills, using Gilgamesh's skills, using items to heal Gilgamesh, which I have been doing. And... yeah. I think this is the week I'm supposed to be able to unlock Gilgamesh's secret garden. Or I have to get it by the end of this week, I believe. Yeah, a little bit. That would have been really frustrating if that character got shown off in today's event before that Kyrie video went up. Now I can kind of ignore it. I might not even put it in updates. I might put them in updates, might not. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I need to see how they handle it in this event a little bit more, because this character has been wildly popular. And during this event, actually, there's 2 NPCs that have been popular. I don't think we're getting actual servants out of either of them, but it would be interesting to see. I might wait till we get a little closer to updates before deciding whether or not they're going to actually, that servant's actually going to be in updates. More timed servants? Timed servants. Oh, you mean like putting out Kyrie on New Year's? We always try to sprinkle in a few timed servants to NA. I don't always do it. Sometimes it's just we want to get the servants faster than that. But like... And I normally don't do it for like the New Year's servant. This year was a bit unique in NA for the New Year's servant because we didn't have a Santa servant, and historically for the channel we've tended to put the Santa servant for the year, like timed it to the NA release. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, obviously. Like we basically rushed through or not rushed through, but we did the other Santa, like the early Santas at separate times. But for this year, we wanted to get we put Kyrie in that slot because he was coming out for New Year's. As far as other time servants go, sometimes they're timed. Like T.H.E was also timed this year, and that was just because we wanted to get T.H.E in the schedule. Like, hey, he would go pretty good here, right when he's dropping with NA, or right around then, the drop in between the long. I can't say for a fact whether or not we have any more time servants coming up, because our schedule's filling out the schedule is a little bit harder now than it was when we did this year's schedule. We're really starting to rub up against a lot of the bigger servants. So, like next year, there's almost no time servants because a lot of next year's servants are collab servants. There are a few we could do timed if we wanted to, but it's not like one of the big, like, anniversary, Space Aresh. We've already done Ishtar and Aresh Kagal. And the summer servants were like CL, Zufu. You get the picture. It's a little harder to get like, there's nothing we could do with summer there. Christmas. There was Lohi at Christmas, so if we wanted to, we could time that. But we've already done Abby, for example. So Abby, like, obviously in 2 years won't be our video at Christmas time. Phantasmoon. That's not something we're doing a full video on because the Seki would have no section. That's either going to be updates or I'm going to hold Phantasmoon until the Tsukihime off the shelf if one ever happens. So yeah, there's 2 years from now is a little rough. There's not a lot I can do timed wise. Next year, or well, that's next year's videos really. The following year, we'll see what happens there. You might actually start seeing a lot more timed videos, or you might not, because we might need to use all of the following year's servants to fill out the schedule for next year. We're kind of losing the ability to have as many Seki Reacts as we have per month, the farther we go out, I think. Unless FGO suddenly decides to drop us with like a, of like 12 new servants in the span of a month, and like really increase the gap for servants, we're not gonna be able to maintain that pace forever, where timing's necessarily possible. It's weird. It's a little weird. Like in the past, we've definitely timed stuff up to this point a few times. Those are jammed addendums. Well, so updates are just anything that we squeeze in. If it comes out after the video is already released, it's probably going in updates, unless they're like I can squeeze another video out of it. Like I could probably gonna be able to squeeze another video out of like Durga and Kali. Even though technically that can go into updates because we've already done Parvati. And I might be looking at a similar thing for the servant that was got an NPC during this event, but I need to get a better idea of how likely they are to be released as a full servant. Like, yeah, that's just what we're looking at right now. Like, we're not planning for a video for, say, Typhon right now, even though I probably could squeeze Typhon in as an addendum because she's only an NPC. We've already done the Greek gods during the Dioscuri video. We could totally do Typhon and get away with it in updates, but I'm not gonna because I feel like there's enough community demand for Typhon to get her own video. I could have said the same thing about Kamazox, but Kamazox just felt too important to explaining all the Ort stuff for Kukulkan. And that entire backstory. Quickly go scope out the library. This is the Gilgamesh one, I think. Something I stopped for a bookshelf. I'm gathering information, and if I'm going to gather information on unusual servants, books should prove indispensable. BB, alter egos, there are tons of the things I want to know about, but there's one servant I have to know about, Gilgamesh. That is Hakuno Kishinami's servant. I permit you to freely look into what kind of person I am. After making our contract under that starry sky, He said that once we met again in the school. It feels like he stuck with me in overcoming many challenges since then, but I know very little about Gilgamesh. Deepening our relationship is honestly doubtful. But thinking about it, I know his important true name, since he claimed himself to be the king of heroes. There should be books about him. I go down each book on the shelf. Found it. This is it. The Epic of Gilgamesh. I take the book with the friendly title and open it up. Suddenly, I found a folded paper with a red label on it. To my pitiful, simple-headed senpai looking around for books on her own servant. If you wish to read this book, please waste items like you just don't care, and show everyone what a happy dummy you are. Yours truly, the mischievous little imp. Just my luck. Looks like this book has a read restriction on it. Just to see what happens, I turn the page and it opened. Apparently I fulfilled the requirement. The beginning of the book is a summary of a person named Gilgamesh. I'll make sure to make a note of it in my matrix so I don't forget. As I continue reading, I come across a page where I couldn't open any further. There seems to be another restriction on it. I can't do anything about it, so I put the book back on the shelf. I'll try to continue it another time. For now, I should go to my room and take a look at the matrix I got. Hans isn't here to ask about the Little Mermaid yet. Because that actually might be required for CCC is to talk to Hans, because I believe that gets me his matrix. I'm pretty sure that's going to come as I get farther in the week, though. Even though I think I already did the Hans matrix in the last playthrough, I need to do it again. But I don't need to talk to him much. The demigod king who conquered the Sumerian city-state, Uruk, who governed, not conquered, in the time before Christ. Not a mere legend, but having truly existed, the king accounted in mankind's oldest epic, the Epic of Gilgamesh, with a great divinity of 2/3 god and 1/3 human, who was perfected as a transcendent being who obtained everything in the world without equal in the world. As a child, he was adored by people as the ideal ruler, but perhaps from being seen as almighty, he grew inconsiderate of his subjects and came to rule Uruk with an iron fist. However, simple despotism doesn't make him a tyrant. Uruk truly prospered. He found a friend he could talk to and personally subjugated monsters that threatened his people, as heroic qualities that cannot be questioned. He is the heroic figure who defeated the bull so large it blocked out the heavens and rendered civilization of his fortified Sumerian city unshakable. Following is historical fact not from the epic. According to a piece of inscription found in the excavation of its ruins, Uruk was a city-state in the Persian Gulf in the southern Mesopotamia. Him as 5th king of the 1st century, it gained assets from sea trade and conquered southern Mesopotamia. He prevailed against Aga, the king of Kish, who ruled the north and unified the city-states of Sumer. However, due to reckless deforestation to build ships, their agricultural land was devastated. That's why Gilgamesh went all the way to far-off Phoenicia, modern Lebanon, seeking giant trees, the cedar of Lebanon, fought against the resident of the woods, Humbaba, won and said to have brought back many trees with him. Here we go. The information I gathered was useful, and I got to take in part of Gilgamesh's legend. He was born as an almighty child king, had a goddess for a mother, and his blood was 2/3 divine, 1/3 human. In the very beginning, Gilgamesh was a hero who was granted many privileges. I guess it's natural that he called himself the king who rules over heroes. There's a clear line distinguishing him from other servants, several actually. What is it, mongrel? You have fervently gazed, pointed towards me. Did it finally happen? You just now succumb to my golden rule? Succumbing to his golden rule, basically meaning that one is entranced by his money? So far, I haven't fallen into any nightmare like that. I'm interested in something very different. What kind of hero is Gilgamesh? If we're going to fight together, we should have a mutual understanding. I know that won't happen, but I at least want to know about my partner's personality. For that purpose, I looked into his legend. Well now, so you analyzed the anecdotes about me? So what, did you regret to find out that your contracted partner is a demon? As if. My regrets are long gone, now it's just the usual for me. What I'm interested in is knowing is whether or not the legend is true or not. It's true, of course. The Seraph's records are objective facts. How they're interpreted is up to the reader. But knowing your interpretation is true is forever out of your reach. Well, very well. You're admirable, so I will permit one question. There's something you don't understand, then ask. I'll get some entertainment out of answering you. I didn't expect this to happen, though my life will be at risk if I ask something stupid. This is a rare opportunity, so I'll ask. Oh boy. I'm not going to ask him about the gods, because being a child of the gods and whether his mother is a goddess, I don't think he likes the gods enough. I'm going to ask him if he was really a tyrant. This could get me killed. Naturally, I'm interested in this fact, that since Gilgamesh's talent was so superior, he disregarded others and made many of his subjects suffer. According to the epic, Gilgamesh left fathers with no sons, mothers with no daughters. Yes, that legend is true. If those who rule over countries with brutality are tyrants, then I am most certainly a tyrant. For you see, I was a man created to be so. Created to be so. Gilgamesh was the son of a king before him. It sounds like something isn't lining up here. You heard that. It's not befitting of me. I think so too, but it's true. I was created by the gods' design. Do you know how the planet can deter versus how humans can deter? You don't? That's fine. It's not important. Forget it. I'm going to talk about how it was up until my birth. Your sorrowful eyes are so pitiful, I'll let a few details slip out of me. The gods didn't create me to support humans, they needed me because they feared humans. Gods and men having perspective of both, I would be the king of a new era. Life forms have an instinct to make wherever they live into a comfortable environment. It should be called survival. The ancient gods lacked this, regardless of how much energy they possessed. They were merely things that were there. In contrast, humanity's survivability is extraordinary. Small individually, but there are many. The average is high. None have any super excelling trait that holds any supreme authority, but each having a higher level of intellect than other life forms. Whereas, no matter how powerful these gods are, the personality, ingenuity, and awareness they acquired are not so different from humans. Understand? Even if they had omnipotent intellect, all added up, they had only one embodied personality. On that point, humanity's count was a threat. The difference was in the amount taught, no inadaptability. Man's desire knows no end, doesn't stop, and isn't held back. The world transforms as they desire. If humans keep proliferating, the rules of this planet will change. The time is coming, when we gods shall lead no will. The ancient gods feared that future. As a result, they desired a ruler who would be on the human side and aligned with the gods. To that end, the goddess gave herself to a human. Foolishness was to prolong the dying age. In reality, it was an ugly death. And by that, it was created was a new world, existing both divine and human. The gods would call it their linchpin to prevent humans and themselves from collapsing. The heavens drove a linchpin into the earth. Those were the circumstances of my birth. Unlike all of you, I didn't come to be from living honest life. From the beginning, my limbs were designed to control and admonish mankind on behalf of the gods. Gilgamesh speaks indifferently and cynically. His looks carry scornful animosity towards the gods, but no disdain at all towards himself. A created being, Gilgamesh, doesn't disparage himself from being a human life, created by the gods' intent, though. I wonder. Why exactly would I? Do you have some sort of preconception that human rights exist? Be it an animal or a puppet, all life is created from its parents' intent. In my case, it's just that it was the gods. Listen, all life in this world is created by the hands of those who came before. Only souls spontaneously generate. And isn't that self that you and I have, no matter if one's body is crafted or if one was someone else's copy to begin with? The moment you awoke, resisted, was the moment you acquired your very own originality. Don't think that was created by someone else. How our bodies know, our lives were created by those who came before us. The only things that spontaneously generate are souls. If that's true, then I can accept Gilgamesh's legend more. Gilgamesh was created to be a middleman. Humans moved away from worshipping nature, so the gods who feared that ultimately created a transcendent being on their own side, who had perspective of both man and the divine. It was the correct action to take. The problem was that this middleman didn't always act the way they wanted him to. Yes, I didn't heed their intent. Though I was created, I was born as a new form of life. And if that was the case, then there was no sense in supporting the ideas of some old gods. I lived as I saw fit. Certainly this body was initially created to be a king, but that was all. Their intent in me being king has nothing to do with each other. I decreed myself king and ascertained what I saw as the right way to rule, that's all. I governed over a root because it pleased me. The god's intent took no part in it. To me, I think of life only in the terms of, is it something that will die very soon or something that will eventually die? If I decide this life must perish now, then my judgment will be passed, whether it be on the wise man, a god, or otherwise. Listen, my way of ruling is simple. I acquire suitable treasures and guard it. I exterminate anything that gets in the way of my pleasure. That's all there is to me. Don't fret over whether I am a devil or like a storm. My mother is a goddess, no? Obviously I'm not human. Gilgamesh gulps from his glass while stifling his laughter. That marks the end of the... what? Well now, that was an SG. Now that I think about it, I never told anyone the story of my birth, did I? Here, this is a reward for surviving this long. Take it with pride. I wound up getting his SG. But wait, what's going on? This isn't a very important story to Gilgamesh. Aren't SGs more like you improve your friendship with one another? Then finally get a glimpse into who they are? Simpleton, there's no such friendship here. As of now, I've less desire than I used to. That includes any desire to socialize with others. Were I to reincarnate, I'd pump blood as a man, but my heart would rouse only for those of my era. I don't see that changing here. Hence, I am only taking a nice tour of the Seraph. I'll pay you with a secret for having escorted me. This heroic spirit came from the age of gods, feared no one, and lived only by his desires. It doesn't sound like he's acting any way differently than in the present world as a servant compared to when he was alive. Not one bit. In all seriousness, why does such an absurd servant even exist? Well, the answer to that, Hakuno, is because Nasu needed a final boss for Fate's Stay Night, because simply resolving the conflict through winning the obviously fucked up tournament was just not a good way to end the story. Nope, that's not. That was all demonetization photos. Alright, first time I've read an SG in ages. Did I ever read BB's SG?
BB 156センチです。先輩、オリジナルの設定は日本ですけど、
Yeah, I read.
私は正真正銘 100%。先から先まで月生まれです。
Yeah, I read that. Okay, new SG. So profile.
俺は絶対にして始まりの王。英雄の中の英雄王。
AUO.
ギルガメッシュ。故に貴様もそう呼ぶがよい。あえて言うなら182センチというやつだ。何？思ったより普通だと？たわけ！俺に肉だるまになれというのか？年の始まりか終わり。どちらでも好きな方を選べ。そうさな。造形が美しいのは当然だ。話にならん。心をくすぐる者は心の折れる音。美しいものが流すさらに美しいひとしずくよ。舐めると甘いぞ。
That which symbolizes so linchpin of heaven, that which symbolizes Gilgamesh's way of life, how the ancient gods lived of his origins. Gods in this universe are split into two categories, that which already existed and became gods, and those who were born as gods. That which already existed as such as heavenly bodies, like the sun and moon, or natural phenomena like storms or earthquakes, that became objects of worship. Those who were born as gods were originally human, but somehow deviated from their humanity and became objects of worship. Heroes, saviors, systems vital to prosperity, and the like fall under this category. The gods of Mesopotamia are of the former. They were natural phenomena with the intent of individuality reigning as the will of the heavens. The one the gods sent to censure the people of Earth was Gilgamesh, the linchpin of heaven, the king made by the gods to secure the earth that separated from them in the age of gods. But he did not fulfill that role. Putting his own desires first, he ruled his kingdom as an individual and regarded the way of the gods as a relic from a past age. I shall abide by the gods and respect them, but perish. The moment you created me, you lost your position by your own doing. And so, for the first time in ancient Uruk, a king not beholden to the gods was born, the king of heroes Gilgamesh. A king made as a linchpin who instead became the speartip that put an end to the previous era. Woo, okay, finally. Probably the longest it's taken during the New Game Plus streams to actually get to the labyrinth. Previous streams, I believe I managed to make it in at the 30-minute mark. Okay. But honestly, good progress on getting Gilgamesh done. I think probably making good progress on the CCC route as well. Probably. I don't need to use items for Gilgamesh, though, anymore. I need to use his specials, and I need to buy shit. Level 19 is our next major level checkpoint, though. So I might need to do a tiny... We'll see. Actually, I don't remember what level I'm at. Maybe 17 or 18 right now? Rapunzel, go home. We infiltrate the 7th floor of the soccer labyrinth. The labyrinth really was extended. If this labyrinth is constructed out of a maiden's mind, then there should be a shield this time, too. But for some reason, it feels stifling here. Compared to the other labyrinths, up until now, the sense of pressure feels higher. Maybe it's due to the nature of whoever was made into a labyrinth core, or maybe it's because we're being completely isolated as foreign bodies. I am level 16. Oh my god, I gotta make 3 levels up in this floor. Okay. New costume can't come soon enough. You can't even lift a folder that size? You've reached your lowest, mongrel. Here, I'll take the... What did you say? Even Gilgamesh couldn't lift up this mass. Contrary to how this cube looks, it seems to be a compressed object of very intricate and highly dense data. It's impossible to retrieve it with just us. Then we'll switch over to retrieving it through copying. Please place your hand on that cube. Address parsed. Download time remaining 10 minutes. Hi, Justice. I don't know what the oh my was in response to, but I have to imagine it's a Passion Lip CCC design. I'm getting nauseous. What hideous, fiendish weapons. Mongrel, what are your thoughts? I've already done, yeah, those claws are crazy. I'm gonna do, which one of those are the deadly weapons? Of course those twin clump-like devils. They're not my taste, but anything that majestic is, they're worth mocking. The alter ego stares at us in silence. She may be observing us in preparation for a fight for all we know. There's just a little less than 8 minutes left until Ronnie's data duplication finishes. She looks fiendish, but isn't aggressive. We could probably win if we fought her, but it's risky. I should... Our enemy is an alter ego, who we know nothing about. It's too early to be picking a fight, though I know it's unreasonable wish. We need to keep playing cool until she leaves. But how long can we really keep her at bay with the standoff? Is she coming? May I introduce myself? I said go ahead without thinking. Her well-mannered request was unlike anything I expect from a part of BB.
私の名
My
前は
name is
パ
Passionless.
ッションリップ
Please feel free to call me that. It would make me happy. Okay, I don't need to read this. You don't deserve my name.
でもお母様あの女の命令だからお時間ができたらいえ何でもだからその ダウンロード完了しま
That it's not like Milk's design difference. There is an interesting, it is interesting the differences they designed, but yeah. I love these student council discussions. I rarely have to read anything.
許可できます
ストップ。
Oh, this is too sexual even for this, but lips change makes her less silly. Yeah, I can... I guess it does do a good job making her less silly.
ご無事で何ご存知です確かにまあどのような暗記かそれはよかった余人を知ることですがどうぞ
Woman, I have no interest in your preaching. This one shall gauge that ego girl. What we need to know is about SGs. Lips SG? In that case, nothing changes. Actually, I think it may be easier to extract with Rin and such. Though an offshoot of BB, she does have a heart. No, perhaps I should say it's because she's BB's offshoot that she has a heart. BB split her functions into egos. After that, she composited many spirits with them. As a result, the alter egos are independent. They are separate from BB, and gain hearts that weren't born from AI. But it's ironic. They were only just born, so they don't know how to conceal their minds. They haven't developed their secrets. Thus, you should be able to extract the gaps and weaknesses of her mind by merely confronting her, but there's one condition. What is it? Please be careful. Confronting alter ego means entering their space. You're able to discuss things with Ren and Ronnie by reaching a mutual understanding with these girls will prove difficult. You'll most likely end up fighting. Prepare as if you will always turn into a fight, and please don't show them any mercy. I see, Lancer was combat proxy for Ren and Ronnie, but it's different for the alter ego. Lip herself is a combat machine with the abilities of a servant. I take Kiara's warning to heart. I'll brace myself then and head for the labyrinth. Nothing quite clear. I just wanted to quickly scan to see if there was any new conversations. save over this one. I could save over the top file, and I'll keep saving over this one when I go into the next day. But there's something I'm a little concerned about that I might check when because I might go take a restroom break here in a second.
この気配。
妙な気配？こっちでは捉えてないけど、警戒を怠らないでください。
ほう。うん。さてどうで秋のやつバカめその首なぜついているいつまでかかずらっているか貴様の敵ならばこの
Yeah, Gil is,
余裕も楽しみもない
his footsteps are kind of annoying. In theory, there's going to be a costume coming up eventually that I can switch him into to get the footsteps to not go clack, 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 over and over again. I cannot wait to get that.
つまらぬろくなものが入っていないなここは
So I don't really need to be iteming Gilgamesh anymore. I can use the Master NP, which is a good early game advantage. Because I've got the Gilgamesh first SG. That's why I was using it so much last time. How do I bring up the... I know there's a way to bring up the... There it is. Yeah, it does. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense why he's as loud as he is walking. But like, that doesn't make it any less annoying to listen to every time you're trying to get through the labyrinth. Dead. We killed Twitch, guys. Let's go! But which way is the right way? That's the right way. Oh no, that's the right way. Dear God, this is such a vertical. And I gotta say, I'm not a fan of the vertical level design. I might have... Makes it hard to see what's going on down the path. only time you'll ever hear me say that in a game, by the way. I actually typically really like vertical level design. But in something like this with low visibility,
ろくなものが入っていないなここは 小粒であってもこの輝きには胸を躍る。やはり財宝とはこうあるべきよな。また似たようなものばかり。レアはないのかって。跡形も残すなよ。脆いな。その首なぜついている。当然だ。ごめん。考えるにあかわるわ。さて、どうだ。遊ぶとするか。見えているぞ。神様はその首なぜついている。リハビリとしては重要。
sweet.
三流はどこまで行っても三流だがな。跡形も残すなよ。落ちこちその首なぜついている。見えているぞ。バカめ。秋のやつせるな。
The JP New Year's servant this year?
いつまでかかずらっているか。
Look, I mean, it's expected. Like, so I was actually supposed to be in the, well, no, I don't know how to put this. I knew Richard was coming. I even guessed it when doing the entire, like T.H.E did that entire ask all the content creators their predictions on the New Year's servant thing. I actually sent a video clip in it, even though it got messed up in editing. And my guess actually was, it was like my actual like reasonable guess was Richard. So like it wasn't, it was predictable. And like gameplay wise, he doesn't do anything for him. I think he's a Buster crit saber, and apparently he hits pretty good crit damage. This doesn't appear to be her special skill. There seems to be openings in the structure. Try to, okay, yeah, tutorial. But I got Buster Servants on NA, and JP I don't think I'm hurting for one. Like Buster Crit Servants, and I'm not even really hurting for that on JP either. Oh, the Edison Alter design? No, I really wasn't. Why was Gilgamesh tutorializing? I don't know why Gilgamesh was tutorializing the invisible barriers. We've only stepped over like 50 billion of them at this point. honestly, that Edison altar design is probably going to result in an addendum needing to be recorded for that reacts, because I don't know, it's probably been well aired at this point, but we will be doing a live recording reacts for Richard the Lionheart and Robin Hood on Valentine's Day. And obviously, like all of our live recording reacts, that's going to immediately go down after the stream is over. And it'll go back up at some point later in the year. And if they end up doing anything with that story-wise between those 2 points, it's going to end up in the video, like as an addendum. So there'll be a fun little addition to what already got streamed. What about the Edison Ultra? I mean, no, it was a valid. I didn't think it was I didn't think there was anything to joke about with that at all. Yeah, they're clearly doing something with it. It's gonna be in a story or an event or something that's coming out. It'll either be the Golden Week event or the or he'll be involved in the next Lost Belt, or not Lost Belt, Ordeal Belt. Richard is a huge part of it, the lion form just isn't. Oh yeah, lion form is not from Strange Fake, and they've already said loud and clear that it's not going to be part of Strange Fake Volume 10. Meaning there's something else FGO related for that lion form. There we go. This is actually what I was hoping for. So I am going to take a brief break because I need to use the restroom, and I also want to check because I'm a little worried that I might have skipped a Sakura flower choice earlier. I don't think I did, but I'm gonna make sure that I haven't missed any CCC route stuff. So I will be right back, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna turn off the sound for our waiting room. That way. Oh, the current Snake Ladies. Look, I really like the 4 stars design, but I'll talk more about that when I get back from my quick little bathroom break. I'll turn off the not desktop audio, the waiting room music, so that you guys can just listen to CCC soundtrack to the. And I am back. Thanks for waiting, guys. Let's see. How much did I miss? A little bit, apparently. Please have the Valentine servant be Shinji. So, okay, yeah, that's right. My thoughts on the two new servants, the snake and the dragon. Oh, did I just get a... Well, that's... Okay, that's not something I need to worry about right now, at least. So, I like the 4-star a lot, actually. I like that simple design a bit. Not as big on the 3-star, and I haven't seen any of their later ascensions, so totally could be a different story as I see their later ascensions. But I'm not a crazy big fan of the 5-star actually. The Lancer, I forget his name. Honestly, I would roll for the 4-star, or I'd start putting quartz down on her if she wasn't on limited. And it's an unlimited 4-star, so it's not like a 5-star. I'm like, oh, there's no guarantee I'll ever get her, and I'm just rolling out of the idea that I may not get her. No, this is a 4-star. Chances are, in the next year or so, if I do any amount of rolling, I probably will get her. And if I don't, it's not that hard to 4-star ticket. Speaking of rolling, I actually was doing a little bit of rolling on JP in order to try getting some NP2s. It was before last stream, I think. I said I was trying to roll for NP3 Alice and did not get NP3 Alice, unfortunately. But I did roll. I also continued to roll, and I rolled for NP2 Takeru, and I got NP2 Takeru. Yeah, the 4-star is permanent, so you missed her, you have a chance of getting her still. Or if you don't roll for her, you don't have to worry too much. This event has 2 potentially NPC exclusive servants. So it's gonna be... Every time I see the NPCs, I'm like, okay, come on, just... Why are you still doing this? I know why they're doing it, because they need to add new characters to these event stories, but they can't increase the budget by throwing 50 million servants into these events. That's the reason why the Guda events consistently have new NPCs is because they put a lot of writing into those stories compared to your average event. And you can only do so much with the characters you just have lying around. Where all the servant funds go. They're going to pick and choose who the most prevalent servant in that story is going to be, and female servants are just going to get more money, typically, from FGO space. Typically, the only reason male servants will get a lot of roll, like female servants, you can get a lot of rolls just by people liking the design or the story. Male servants, I don't see that as often unless they have like some incredible game feature, like say a Super Orion or something, or Arjuna Altered. Whereas the female servants are allowed to be they can get away with being so-so, and people will still roll for them, which is a bit it sucks a little bit, because we are deprived of a lot of, especially in the NPCs, the men definitely get it worse than NPC jail. Like 2 new servants in this event are NPC only. There's a female and a male. I would be shocked if the female servant doesn't end up escaping from NPC jail in the very near future. Like, that seems like just an inevitability at this point.
跡形も残すなよ。
It was a little bit based of him. It was.
その首なぜついている？
I knew that was a guard. I just wanted to get one of those out.
脆いな。リハビリとしては上出来だ。そうすぎる。戦う価値。
Like, that's the thing. Like, I think Oberon grew on a lot of people. People were willing to give Oberon more of a chance because Oberon had the fortune of being a very, very valuable servant in the meta.
様は自決しろとは言わん。当然だ。
And that's fair. It's a good thing, U-Ball. Honestly, it probably means your account gets to do more interesting things, or it tends to do more interesting things than the vast majority of accounts are currently doing. Mine included, by the way.
さて、跡形も残すなよ。 見えているぞ。秋のやつよ、良い度胸だ。
Well, Morgan is good. That's the thing. Is I don't think Nasu has some input on how good a servant is, or how much they want to exaggerate certain stats or certain abilities, or like if they want to introduce a mechanic that's just totally fucking busted. Nasu's gonna have a lot of input on that. But I don't think certain things like the glitch that made Scotty ridiculous for the first time are necessary, or like. And I don't are entirely Nasu. I don't think Oberon. I think Oberon, the raw damage that they got out of Oberon was not something that they really. They might have accounted for it. But I don't know that they. I don't know how much they accounted for it, to be honest. Because they really didn't need another crazy meta servant right before or right after Clay and Skya, which is Oberon launched like weeks after Clay and Skya and JP and days after Clay and Skya and NA.
やめてください。どうして言うこと聞いてくれないんですか?
Oh, do you mean the worst Lost Belt King gameplay wise? I don't know. I'd rather use Morgan than say someone like Ivan. Like Ivan's fun and all, but I do think Morgan is. I get more use out of my Morgan than I do my Ivan. Like Morgan at least has stuff like the immortal teams work really, really well with Morgan. And while the problem with Morgan, I think, is that she's good, and it doesn't cost. I don't think Oberon did much to her. What cost her is and has always been Gajuna, and just the ridiculous damage scaling on him. Like, more often than not, it's more worth using Gajuna over Morgan, because you don't need an AoE Berserker that has decent survivability very often. Damage is just going to be more useful. And then, like, immortal comps you use for, like, hard story fights you don't really want to keep working your way through. And the thing about the immortal comp is, unlike, say, looping comps, you don't need to have 3 servants out in the front line at the start of the fight and swapping in, like, say, Oberon or something in the back line to make it work. So all those times, like during my Paper Moon streams, or right now I'm feeling it in Nahui McLawn, where it's like, you can have 2 servants out. You have to have like 1 required servant in the front, and you can't move them to the back line to start the fight. You got to go into the fight like with this servant. In theory, if you can have at least 2 of your own servants in the front line, it could be like Morgan and Merlin, and you just swap in Castoria, and suddenly you have an immortal comp that can win the fight regardless of how fast you do it. An unexpected turn of events, a monster with such weaponry being driven by a little girl. It is a strange situation. That girl in black is a different person from the one we saw in the path, and tears are welling up in passion of sighs. Fortunately, they don't seem to notice us yet, so let's stay here and keep watching. In the head, too? I've never been slow or anything like
どん
that.
くさいわ
Slow compared to
メルトに
melt, you look
比べたら
like you're standing still. I
大
don't
体
do this.
何
Not out loud. There's something I need to look up, though.
マ
I
ッ
need
シ
to
ュ
look
クラッシュトラッシュオンリーあなたは女王様のナイトじゃないひときわ醜いデカブツルーク
I might have missed some CCC choices. Hang on. Yeah, I fucked up. Back in chapter 2, before ever going into Ronnie's labyrinth, I was supposed to go into the infirmary. I haven't touched the infirmary because there's no actual infirmary room, and it typically doesn't do anything, and Sakura's never in there. Fuck. I don't know what to do, to be honest. Because I don't have a save at that point anymore. And we're now a full day into chapter 3. Like, this is the end of chapter 3 right here. That's actually pretty frustrating. Because I don't really want to go all... Because at this point, to fix this, what I would have to do is I'd have to literally go back to the beginning of the game. Like, we'd have to start from scratch to fix this, because I don't have a save back at the start of chapter 2 anymore. I was worried that so what I was worried about was there was a passion choice earlier where there were 3 responses and 2 of them are pretty polite, like introduce yourself or reply, and then there was the impolite one. I was like, I feel like there could be a CCC route decision there, and that's what I was kind of worried about. So that's why I was like, okay, I forgot to do this a second ago. I should pull up a guide, take a look, see how you get the CCC route, see if I missed anything on this day, and then when I pulled up a guide, I noticed that at the start of every week, you're supposed to go to the infirmary. Fuck. I need to remove that. I don't want to listen to the game right now. I don't know. I genuinely don't know at this point. I really don't want to replay this from the start. What are my save states like? Okay, I'm going to save over that save state so I can come right back here. Oh, I have that sped up. So I'm saved over there. Which fight is that? That's Tamamo. And this is probably the second fight against Lancer. Yeah. That's the second fight against Lancer. That sucks. Ugh. Okay, so what does... If I want to get the CCC route, I've got to start from scratch. There's no other way I can go about this, because I don't have a save from the previous route. Or from at the start of the previous chapter to make it to the infirmary. It won't work. If I could start just the Ronnie day, I would do it, but... Because Ronnie's week was quick. It was actually surprisingly quick. I could make it through Ronnie tonight if it was just Ronnie. Can't necessarily do that for Rin. and that's going to take an entire second, like at least 1 to 2 streams full just to catch up back to where I'm at now. And like, these aren't going to be enjoyable streams. These will be Knick-Knack sits here skipping through dialogue, retracing his steps for probably 6 to 8 hours. Like, this is genuinely a playthrough ruiner. But I don't really... I could try catching back up to this point on my own time, but I don't really have that time. This would cause, like, catching up 8 hours of gameplay. I don't even put 8 hours of gameplay into my own... I don't even have time to put 8 hours of gaming into my own time these days. Like, me catching up would be basically me... Fuck. Yeah. That fucked up. Okay. Right off the bat, I think, guys, this is probably I'm probably gonna be cutting things not short here. I'll stick around. Let me put my headphones on. I'll just close out of the game. I've save stated here. If somehow I can pick up here later, I'll pick up here later, but we're going to exit out of the game here, and I'm just going to switch us to a chatting screen. And long term, we're going to, if I want to come back to this, and I will come back to it eventually, I'm going to need to go back to the drawing board, basically. There's nothing I can really do about that. Let me close out of my emulator here. I'm going to move my chat onto screen here. That's frustrating. That's incredibly frustrating. I feel like I've wasted like 6-7 hours of my time now. And that's not something I'm just going to get back easily. I don't know, guys. It's going to be a second, I think, before I come back to CCC after this. I'll be more careful when I do come back, but I'm going to need a break before I go and replay the first 2 weeks of the game. I don't know. Fuck. Well, the plan was originally I was going to stream next week. I was actually thinking about streaming both Monday and Wednesday because I had a recording on Monday, but I was going to come back and stream after that recording because I would have time in the evening. But that's not happening. That's not happening this week. I'm my motivation at this point is pretty gone. Yeah. I'll say this now. Next week's going to be pretty sparse on streams. I was going to try filling that in myself, but Seki's only streaming once next week with the plan to stream the Sunday next weekend. But that will be in the next schedule. But I've got to say I'm probably not streaming anything next week. I'm going to need time to break. I think I don't even know if when I come back I'll be streaming CCC because I have to decide whether or not I'm going to take time on my own time, separate from the channel, to catch up and do the CCC stuff off screen for the first 2 chapters, or if I'm going to be doing this stuff on stream again. We're just starting from scratch. We're just going to go right back to the beginning, pick Gilgamesh again, because I'd like to have a Gilgamesh portion of my CCC review and analysis, and blaze my way through the entire game. I don't know how I'd go about that though. Like genuinely, I don't really want to redo those first chapters without a guest there, because the only thing I can really do is gameplay in the next, like, redoing those streams. So like even now, at least I'm like occasionally cutting in to like read Gilgamesh, read CCC stuff or new scenes that I don't recognize from before. But I'm not going to be able to do that. Not for at least 2 streams. And I might even be rereading stuff. It'll just be me speeding through dialogue. So it'll probably speed up the streams. Maybe I'll get through them quicker since I'm not even reading it. I'm fast forwarding through everything. But I don't know. I'm going to talk with the others, see if I can maybe recruit one of them to come join me for a stream or two, just so I can chat, talk shit, and like only read the one, like the one scene that I missed, the singular scene that I missed. Yeah, I'll do that. I should also get Hans's Matrix, because that's another thing I missed last time. Is I missed Hans's Matrix because I didn't ask about him. I only asked about Gilgamesh. That was the first thing that caught my eye. I was like, oh shit, did I miss that last week? I might have to go back and redo the boss fight on stream and then catch up. But then I saw the talk to Sakura in the infirmary, and I was like, oh, didn't do that. So I'm gonna see if I can rope any of the others into joining me for that. And that's gonna have to be the plan. I would say I can just stream the Nahui McLawn, because I'm reading through that right now, but I'm not streaming Nahui McLawn on the channel again. That was like the most technically irritating thing I've ever streamed for FGO on the channel, because every time I'd complete a fight node, it would just cut the video feed. I'd have to unplug and replug the phone, and we're not reading Nahui McLawn. That's pretty much why I'm not coming back and doing another Ort run for the channel on the stream. So we'll see. That's the thing, is I could start Extella. I could absolutely start Extella next stream and then do my playthrough of Extella before CCC, but at this point, I don't really want to do that. I don't know. I'll talk with the others. I'll figure something out. There probably won't be a full playthrough of anything in the future, but maybe if I can't get the others in to guest for a stream or two immediately, I'll try to fill out something with the schedule. Keep an eye on the schedule this Sunday. Maybe I'll still be up to streaming something. It just probably won't be CCC unless any one of them happens to be available to be a guest, whether it be Vorn or Seki or even Realm. If I can get one of them to guest for me so I can bum rush through the rest of the game, we'll come back this week, but I don't think I can, knowing Seki's schedule. Vorn's busy with college, and I don't know Realm's schedule, but I know he's on time crunches as well. So yeah, I'll figure out something to do. I'll figure something out. Maybe expect a non-Fate Knick-Knack stream this week. As for the other videos this week, because I'm just gonna be cutting it here. Let me take a look. What do we have going up this week? Oh, I know it's going up. It's the only 2 things currently edited on our channel at the moment. I need to make thumbnails. So our next Reacts is going up. I don't know that I have much of a hint. It's going to be a pretty short Reacts. That's kind of a hint there. Is it's not going to be a long Reacts. It's one of those early FGO servants with only 1 form. Kind of 2 forms, but not really. That we'll be going over, and then sort of making up for the fact that it's such a short Reacts day, we have the prototype fragments off the shelf going up on the 24th. So we actually read Fate prototype fragments. That's fun. But otherwise, yeah, this is really demotivating. I'm gonna have to think on it. This is I don't know that I like how Fate Extra CCC handles accessing the CCC route, because I don't know how you would figure that out on a first playthrough or even a second playthrough. This is like something that you have to be willing to replay the game multiple times to get without a guide, it seems like. Because your first playthrough, you can't. To my understanding, you can't access that. And if you... It's really hard to, at the very least, like the buying the new school uniform is a bit of a financial barrier in that first playthrough that most players aren't going to clear. On the second playthrough, though, that infirmary, like the lack of the decisions being in the main story, like you have to actively find the infirmary, go to the infirmary on your own time when Sakura's already visible in the student council room 99% of the time. That to me is kind of bullshit. I don't know. I'm probably going to rant a lot about this when I do the review. If I'm wrong and I can still access it, if anyone's watching the VOD or if anyone has played CCC, and I'm wrong about this, that I didn't miss the CCC route because of that first infirmary week not visiting Sakura during the Ronnie week, let me know. I would love to just jump back in where we're at. But yeah, for now, I'm going to have to... I think I'm gonna have to stream it because I don't want to not read the first scenes on camera, and I'm sure if there's any extra exclusive scenes the CCC route before then, I should read those. But yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, it's a weird way to unlock the alternate route compared to the rest of the game. Like, I don't mind it in visual novels because in visual novels there's this funny little feature you can do if you missed something. And it's important to unlocking another route. It's called the back button. Like, doing that kind of thing in a visual novel, like, oh, I should have made this choice and I didn't know about that, and I'm, like, partway into the normal route. I can just go all the way back. And I don't mind alternate endings like Samurai Remnant. I didn't mind the alternate ending in Samurai Remnant because it's literally one choice at the end of the game, and you only have to have beaten the game once before to unlock it. And it's just extra scenes inserted. I thought this wasn't that bad because it's like, oh, they'll highlight the choices you need to make to get this route throughout the game. So it's optional if you want to read it the old way or the new way, and I actually kind of like that more than Samurai Remnant if that were the case. But having something so out of the way and not indicated by the game's never like, hey, we should also go visit Sakura in the infirmary. If you like do get the sailor uniform, the Seifuku. If you do that, like, Sakura's not like, hey, you should come visit me in the infirmary when you have the chance. She doesn't do that. Not once. Instead, she stays in the student council room like you'd expect her to. I don't know. To me, that's kind of bullshit, and it's just a way to artificially get, like, people... It feels like artificial padding to me in some ways. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's awful to me. All right, guys. Well, I will see you next time. We'll see what comes next. Yeah, a hint. None.